Hello, I'm Ellen and welcome to my new channel, Ellen's Pigs. This video is just going to be introducing you to my two guinea pigs. This here is Frankie here, and this is Basil. Both of them I got from Avalon Guinea Pig Rescue in March this year. So I'd wanted guinea pigs for a very long time, but I wanted to make sure I knew as much as I could about them before I got them, so I could take proper care of them. So I'd researched them for about 3 years before even looking into getting them. So we got them from Avalon Guinea Pig Rescue and we took them home, and we had them in a cat carrier on the way back in the car. And so I noticed only very slightly, I noticed that mainly Frankie, but both of them really, they were coughing and like making sneezy noises. So anyway, we took them home, and I know that guinea pigs sort of hide illness, so I knew when you notice something you need to sort of help them out a bit and take them to the vet. So anyway, we texted Shaz, who is like the owner of Avalon Guinea Pig Rescue, and she was so helpful. She hadn't, like, they weren't ill or anything when they were with her, but she reckoned that due to like stress of moving, because obviously it was a completely different place to them, they'd never seen it, they were very nervous, as they would be, so we reckon that stress brought it out. So we took them to the vets anyway. We already had a vet lined up. I wanted to make sure I found an exotic vet, to make sure they got what they needed basically. So we went to our vet, and it turned out that both of them had got URIs, so upper respiratory infections. So Frankie was the worst here. So they were both put on a course of Baytril for 10 days, and that seemed to clear it up. Then a couple of weeks later, the vet suspected that this would happen, but Frankie actually, his came back again, so he ended up on antibiotics again. So after this, Basil was completely fine, and he has been ever since, but it was just Frankie, so we sort of looked into it a bit, because Frankie is also a lot smaller than Basil is, and my vet actually thinks that Frankie was most likely the runt of the litter. So basically, the reason the guinea pigs were in Avalon Guinea Pig Rescue is because they were both from a breeder that just didn't want them, because they were boys. They were going to be given to a reptile shop as food for the reptiles. So Shaz took them in, and now they're living here. So basically now, Frankie is 8 months old here, and Basil is coming up to 9 months old. So yeah, they live in here. This is actually a DIY cage. My granddad made it for me. It's equivalent to a 2x4 CNC cage, because I wanted to make sure they had plenty of space. So yeah, in here they live. I've recently bought them. I don't know if any of you have had any, but there's a shop called Quality Save, and this was actually in the baby section, and it's just like a frog blanket kind of thing, and both the boys love this so much. They like snuggle right up to it. We actually had to go to the vets again today, we took them both, but it was mainly for Basil because he actually has something called polydactyl toes. They're hiding now. So he has 2 extra toes, basically, and I just wanted to check that everything was alright, because I know sometimes it's best if you remove them, other times it's best if you keep them. So yeah, that's all fine, and they said it's probably because obviously putting guinea pigs under anaesthetic is quite high risk, so it's best for us to just leave them unless he has any problems with them. But also I wanted to check Frankie actually had, I noticed I've been bathing his eye for 2 days now, and he has had, let me see if I can show you, 2 seconds. He's had a bit of a crusty like eye, so we just showed the vet and she said it's probably the start of a tear duct infection, so she's given us eye drops. So hopefully that should be sorted very soon. But yeah, they're so funny. They've both got totally different personalities. Frankie, who's on camera here and is now walking away, is so nosy, he wants to be involved in everything. Whereas Basil is the dominant one of the two. He's really bossy. He's so dominant, he bosses Frankie about all the time. But Frankie's very good and puts up with him. But yeah, so that's Frankie and Basil. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you like it. Feel free to like the video and leave a comment and subscribe if you want, because there'll be more videos to come. Thank you.